Good evening. I'm Harry Keeling, and on behalf of the Alaskan Aviation Safety Foundation and Alaska Public Media, welcome to Hangar Flying. We welcome back our guest this evening, Ralph Gibbs, who is the new director of University of Alaska Anchorage Aviation Technology Division. Ralph has got an extraordinary background in military aviation, having been a Marine pilot and flying things like the Cobra and the OV-10, and also corporate aviation, and he's got a very significant resume in aviation education. So we're very lucky to have him at the helm of the UAA Aviation Technology Division. Ralph, welcome back.
Thank you, sir.
So we were talking about some of the safety initiatives that you were familiar with in the military and that you have used successfully in a civilian context, and some of the ones you'd like to see at UAA. One of the ones I'd specifically like you to talk about is your idea on crew rest.
So not unlike the airlines, not unlike the military, I brought with me a crew rest policy. It has several parts, and they're all common sense. One, for example, is that no air crew may work, fly, go to school more than 6 days in 7. Everyone has to stand down 1 day to decompress. Flying 7 days in a row, back to back, is just not acceptable. Flying is a very cerebral activity, and if you don't have proper crew rest, that's when you're going to make a mistake. Additionally, no air crew may fly for more than 12 hours a day. If they start at 8 o'clock in the morning going to class, then they have to be on the ground by 8 o'clock that evening, so a 12-hour crew day. In between crew days, I've established 9 hours of uninterrupted crew rest in between crew days. And all three of these measures are intended to make sure that when you strap on the airplane, you're at the top of your game.
And you know, we didn't really talk about this, but there's a subjective element here. I mean, you can define the number of hours, the number of days, but I think your attitude and your emphasis on the importance of this might also come in handy when people start pulling all-nighters and things like that to take care of their academic career. They need to realize that the safety in the flying is even more important.
Absolutely. There has to be an awareness on the part of the students. There has to be a little bit of self-reporting and self-monitoring to make sure that you are, in fact, ready to go flying when you strap on the machine. And so just by teaching these principles, by establishing these guidelines, there's no guarantee that I'll absolutely make sure that someone doesn't slip through, but then I have flight instructors to make sure that the students are at the top of their game, and the students are monitoring their flight instructors to make sure that they are at the top of the game before they go flying.
You know what I'd like to do, Ralph? You've got some really, I think, I'm going to call them revolutionary. They're very thoughtful ideas around the ATP rating, around the hiring of commercial pilots. But I want to save that to another program. We've got about 2 minutes left, so I'm just going to give you the open mic. Any other ideas that you, in your vision of either bringing forward ideas from the past, like ORM or CRM, or any other ideas that we missed?
Well, I like to tell all my students that it is not my intent to turn them into little Marines, or that Aviation Technology Division is going to be an Air Force squadron. But there are certain things that I know work in terms of organization that have an impact on safety and have an impact on the efficiency by which students will complete their programs. Things such as having a maneuver description guide that has all the maneuvers that the students can read ahead so that they are prepared for each flight. Having a standardized syllabus with lessons that say, on this lesson we're going to introduce this, we're going to practice this, we're going to demonstrate, review, all the things that I know you saw in the Air Force and I saw in the Navy, Marine Corps, and Coast Guard in flight instruction. So trying to bring that structured flight instruction model into the way we're teaching flight training in the university system is also one of the things I'm pushing.
You know, one other thought comes to mind, and just quickly maybe get some ideas from you, but it always seems like grade slips are an issue. In the military, there's always an emphasis to have very thorough descriptive grade slips. I would think that's something you're probably going to emphasize to your students at UAA too.
Absolutely. What I did is I took the General Aviation Jepson flight instruction model, their guidelines, and dropped it into a Naval Aviation Training Command form so that it has the military structure, but it has the general aviation parameters for flight instruction.
What a good idea. Now, what I want to do is get you back one more time, because you got some really good ideas, and I hope, ladies and gentlemen, you need to tune in next time, because Ralph's got some very provocative thoughts on ATP and the future of hiring pilots for corporate aviation and Part 121. Thanks for being on the program. Look forward to having you on again. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for tuning in, and until next time, fly safe.